Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 13th of the August Leetcode Daily Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about today's problem and so forth. So one random note before I start is that today's August 13th, 2021. I started on April 1st. So that means that this is my 500th video because if you include Wednesday and including August 13th, I have 500 days. So this is my 500 consecutive video. I don't know what to make of that, but yay, celebration, 500 straight Leetcode daily challenge. I don't know what to make of that still, but hope you enjoyed that little tidbit. Anyway, today's problem is set matrix zeros. So given m by x matrix and element 0, set its entire order in return matrix. You must do it in place. Okay. So yeah. So I think let's see, right? Yeah, the obvious thing is that for every zero, you know scan left and scan up, left, right, up, down, and then set them all to zero. If you do it naively, it's gonna be quadratic, where quadratic means that it is m squared times n squared, which is a little bit too slow. And well, in this case, you could do it in place. You can do it m plus n space trivially by looking at by keeping track of the rows and the columns. For example, you do one pass going, okay, we set column 1 and rows 1 to zeros, and then you do another pass later to just check whether that's true and then set that row and column to 0. So you can do that. Can you devise a constant space solution? To be honest, I don't know if this is one of those problems where it is like weird in that you do some weird things to like, because what I want to say is that there are a couple of things that are kind of constant space, but not really, because you do it in place, which has the actual implementation of constant space, but not in spirit. And what I mean by that is that you can, for example, modify. Well, in this case, this is the case, but you can, for example, especially in Python, but you can modify one of the fields to kind of, you basically embed a flag into another field. But I feel like that's like kind of really silly, maybe. So I don't know if that's what they mean. There are a couple of ways you can do that. You can maybe do either a checksum and then add something or something like that, and then I don't know. There are a lot of ways you can do it, but I don't know if that's what they mean by the constant space solution. So. Or is there a real constant space? So those are kind of the things that are going through my mind. Because real constant space, I mean, like, just have variables and that's what you use to kind of keep track of stuff. But where like a quote unquote a fake constant space is like if I manipulate this array so that like for example, I add every number by I don't know 10 billion, which is all bigger than this range, or like. For rows for rows that contain zeros, I add it to 1 billion or 10 billion or something big, right? Like, does that count as constant space? I guess technically, because you're manipulating the in place array, but also maybe no, because it's just like a really weird thing to operation to do. So I don't know if I have that answer for this one. Maybe we can kind of look at the solution for, or at least for a clean constant space. But let's think about it a second, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking about some way of using prefix sum as well, into the array natively, but I don't know. But like I said, all those ways are kind of like not really constant, right? They're fake constants. Like if I'm doing some weird thing where I don't know, if I'm effectively storing 1 billion away, but within the same matrix, then then it's not really the same. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see if there's a hint. Okay, so that's what I was saying, right? Uh, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's just like sloppy, messy, unmaintainable code. So that's why that's a solution that I don't know if I would consider to be correct. Yeah, but all the other one, yeah, okay. I'm not going to implement this because it's not really clean code to be honest. But I mean, I meant the quote unquote constant space one. But like I said, like I had the idea, we talked about it here before. We kind of looked at the hints. So yeah, so I'm going to do the clean style. So yeah, I mean, I don't. You could do whatever you like if you want to practice. The thing about these problems is that it gives you an opportunity to practice implementing what you feel like you want to practice and get better at. So if you want to, if you want to work on this, like for me, do not feel like there's any value in it for myself. But if you feel like you want to work on this constant space implementation, feel free to do that. So yeah. But I am going to do the n plus m solution. Let me check that this is greater than 0. Okay, because this only works if there are more than 0 rows, which sometimes is a edge case input that they give you for fun, but so I always check. But yeah, okay. Rows rows contain 0 maybe? That's really, really long, so I'm just going to row 0. Just going force, oops, can spell, oops. Is it going to 0, rows. But yeah, so now you set the entire row and column to be true so that you can do another pass later to set it. Oops. Basically, this is saying, is there a row in this column? Oh, sorry, is there a row? Sorry, given the current position, is there 0 in this row or is there a column in this row? If either of these is true, which is kind of like the reverse thing of this, we set it to 0. And that's pretty much it. Because I think that is a better thing to learn as well, is that sometimes you have to learn or think about how to solve the problem in the reverse way. Because here, the naive algorithm that you might come up with is, okay, for each 0 that you come across, do something, where the reverse of that is, okay, I'm in this position, is there 0 in this row, right? So something like that. Whoops, how did I think I was thinking about something else. Silly, but that's fine. That's an easy thing. Click, okay, looks good. Let's give it a submit. Yeah, so this is going to be linear time because for each cell in the matrix, we scan over it twice, and going to be all plus C space because we just have two arrays, right? So less than linear space, but not constant space. Anyway, that's all I have. Happy 500 to me. If you're watching here, thanks for your support throughout the 500 days, here or whenever, and also hopefully into the future. Still gonna keep going, so stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see you later. Bye bye. Yeah, actually, if hopefully you're still watching here. I just want to say I admit I was wrong about this one for the constant space solution. I thought it was another type of problem where you do embed information into a matrix, or into another cell, and then kind of like like a flag, but not really. So it's kind of weird. But actually, what you wanted to do is no, thinking about a solution. I was like, oh, actually, it's more like because you're setting it to 0. It's almost like a pre-calculation of pre-calculation or like a premature cascading type flag of what you were going to do in the future anyway. And basically what I came up with is that, okay, if an element is 0, we actually set the first element to 0 and the first row of that cell to 0 and first column of that first row and the first column of the elements is 0, and that's okay because we were going to change them to zeros anyway. And then later, we will basically just adjust the rest of the columns and the rows to 0. Of course, the tricky thing is the cell 0, 0, because at that corner, you don't. Well, we process it last because you don't want to change order the first row and the first column to 0, because then otherwise you will basically change the entire matrix to 0, right? So that's basically why we do it last. And then in this case, if you have 0, 0, then you don't know whether you're saying that that's the first row is 0 or the first column is 0. So that's why we keep track of first row independently. So then we, in this case, matrix 0, 0 means first column is, or columns contain 0 and should be 0. So yeah, so basically this is the solution I would have. It's actually not that bad, but once the definition is a little bit different from the R plus C solution, but this is now over one space. Again, this is going to be linear because you do need to populate it and you do look at each cell at least once, so that's going to be linear. But in terms of space, we only have 3 extra variables, so it's all one space. I do retract what I said earlier about this one being a little bit weird. Yeah, because I think I was just thinking about a different solution, but this is kind of clever actually, but it's very limited and very very specific and very tailored to this problem, so I don't know how helpful this is. Anyway, that's all I have for this one, for reals this time. Thanks for your support. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Go 500 and 500 on a weird video. But yeah, stay good, stay healthy, to good mental health. I'll see you later. Bye bye.